Time for another Prepper Potpourri Pondering. Earlier this month, Putin called an emergency meeting regarding dozens of fires that have occurred at key installations in Russia. Are these just increased seasonal wildfires or dissident actions protesting the war? Last month, on many prepping channels, it was discussed that there may have been set deliberate fires at food processing and food distributing warehouses in the United States. And this could cause a more severe food shortage. And they gave numerous examples. A salad packaging plant in Salinas, California is destroyed in a massive fire, while at almost the exact same time, an onion processing plant in Texas is engulfed in flames. Planes nosedive into the heart of food processing plants in Georgia and Idaho. A warehouse with 50,000 pounds of food burns, as well as an animal feed mill, a cereal processing plant, and a meat packing plant. All of them taking America's precious food supply with them. Is it mere coincidence? Just some bad things happening at the same time? Or is it a sinister plot to starve the United States and cull the herd of useless eaters? Well, I've said before, I am a born skeptic. When I started hearing this, I thought, none of them mention how many food processing and distributing warehouses are there in the United States? What is the annual average of fires at these plants? How much food disruption there really was from the fire? I mean, it was missing a lot of information. As it's turned out, this conspiracy theory is rather being debunked, and it probably is not true. But it made me think, why are people drawn to conspiracy theories? And often they believe them without checking facts. And they might say on their channel, I heard this rumor, but I don't know if it's true, and then go on and say what it is. So in a sense, spreading that rumor without checking if there's any facts behind it. And this even happens in newscasts nowadays. So why do people so easily believe in conspiracies? We live in a world where there is so much data available. And often people use data dredging and find one variable that links with another variable, right? It correlates. So this correlates with this. And a lot of people then jump to the conclusion that this causes this. Interesting book out. It's called The Spurious Correlations, written by Tyler Vigen. He is a military intelligence analyst and a Harvard Law student, and the graphs in this book emphasize that correlation does not necessarily equal causation. In his intro, he talks about in the late 1800s in Holland, a curious phenomenon occurred. The human birth rate rose at the same pace as the local population of white storks. So, people thought that as the stork population increased, so did the birth rate. And that is probably where we got into folklore that the stork delivers babies. Here's another. Pattern is clear. A statistical correlation exists between the increasing rate of national cheese consumption and the increasing number of accidental suffocations and strangulations in bed. Think about that the next time before you eat cheese going to bed. Well, we all know warm weather correlates with ice cream sales, and overcast skies correlate with rain. But here's one. The number of films Nicolas Cage has appeared in each year correlates with the number of people who have drowned by falling into a swimming pool. So correlations don't always make sense, right? But they can be pretty humorous. And we all know that correlation does not necessarily prove causation. Yet, I think we often try to seek patterns. And we also try to place blame when there's adverse events. Think of in the 16th century, witches, and they were blamed for causing crop failures because maybe witches increased and crop failures increased. I copied this from a website because I thought it was really interesting. Even back in the Roman era, there are prominent examples of conspiracy theories, and these are typically connected to major crisis situations. During the year AD 64, the Great Fire of Rome erupted. Aided by the wind and wooden construction of the houses, the fire lasted for almost a week, transforming Rome into an inferno. Once the fire stopped, most of Rome was destroyed. Many people died or were left homeless. Emperor Nero was out of town when the fire started, and he returned to Rome to organize help for the victims. Around that same time, however, conspiracy theories started to spread, which asserted that Nero and his associates deliberately started the fire in order to rebuild Rome according to his own vision. In addition, these conspiracy theories stated that Nero was singing while Rome was burning. Apparently, Nero wasn't amused when hearing about these conspiracy theories, and in response, he came up with his own conspiracy theory, blaming the Christian community for initiating the fire and spreading the rumors, leading many Christians to be crucified or burned alive. Yeah, that kind of proves that spreading conspiracy rumors can be deadly. You know, I think randomness is hard for all of us to accept. Many people believe there's no such thing as happening by accident. And of course, many people believe in a divine plan. So then there can't be randomness, right? I think we have to be in control or think somebody is in control. And the illusion of control makes us believe that we have greater control of events that we can't control whatsoever. And people studying this have been led to the conclusion that people may believe in conspiracy theories because they have a desire to explain and find order and meaning in events. Even though these events might be random, unpredictable, and outside of our control. You know, a lot of the conspiracy theories summarize complex events with a simplified story involving a powerful enemy group that deliberately organizes and carries out an evil plan. You know, think of the Illuminati, right? They get blamed for a lot of things. And there are a variety of different scapegoats to blame for adverse events. It just seems easier to accept that somebody was in control than nobody was in control. Now, is every conspiracy theory false? Of course not. But many, many are. You know, when I was a teen, I really enjoyed reading science fiction. But as I got older, more of science fiction became more fantasy written, and it wasn't based on hard science. And I have never been one who really enjoys fantasy. I try to use scientific thinking, to evaluate connections between evidence and alternate explanations. And here's some of the principles. Empirical evidence over preserving ideologies, embracing facts over denying inconvenient truths, representative evidence over anecdotes, narratives, and cherry-picked examples. I'm going to interrupt here. And those cherry-picked examples was very evident in those that were shown for the fires at food processing plants. Seeking falsification over seeking confirmation, objectivity over bias. So just think about that the next time you hear a conspiracy theory. Do some research before you pass it on. As Scully said on the X-Files, the truth is out there. But I can't help thinking, but it's so darn hard to find. Thank you for listening to my ponderings, and I hope you subscribe and share the knowledge.